Since the dawn of my life, I've been obsessed with Barbie dolls, but there's never been a big screen adaptation toward which I could affix my gaze. Never. Until...
Hello, and hi! Today we're going to discuss the most anticipated movie of my entire life, the Barbie movie. Now, I'd like to establish that the views and opinions discussed in this video are my own, and not that of a little elf that whispers in my ear at the nighttime. So sit back, relax, buckle up, lock your doors, and enjoy! To begin, I'm sure you want to hear my credentials. I'm a licensed and registered Barbie superfan. I have been my whole life. Every bedroom I've had in the last 28 years has been Barbie inspired. I've painted 2 of my cars and 1 moped pink, and Barbie is the reason I've been dyeing my hair blonde since I was 8 years old. I recreated this Barbie look, and 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 this Barbie. I love her so much that I got Barbie tattooed on my brother, because I can't get a tattoo because Barbie doesn't have any tattoos. The first biography I ever read was Ruth Handler's. I'm a huge Margot Robbie fan too. In fact, a couple years ago, I spent a whole week dressing as Margot Robbie's various characters. You can imagine the conniption I had when I found out my 2 favorite blondes were going to merge together as one. My expectations were very high. Perhaps a little bit too high. Foreboding. But no, don't leave. I have a lot of nice things to say. I love what the movie did culturally. Like, not actually the movie itself, but the hype for the movie long before it even came out. For years, us girly girls endured the media's disregard and sometimes even vilification. Society seemed to disdain pastels and bleach blonde hair, the color pink, and literally any feminine trait. The only way a female protagonist had any merit for so many years was if she portrayed traditionally masculine traits, such as seriousness, aggression, disdain for pastels, and a general just roughness. And it's okay for a girl to be like that, but she shouldn't have to act that way to be valid. In movies and TV shows for most of my lifetime, a girl was either the intellectual type or the girly type. Never both. Until... the Barbie movie shattered that notion. We see fabulous girls who can wear makeup, sparkly clothes, paint, and still win Nobel Prizes. Like, you should be allowed to wear pink ruffly bloomers and go to space. That's all that I'm fighting for in this world. Like, I'm also really excited to see that light blonde hair is making a comeback, because for a while we're totally focused on like the natural looking hair.
To be clear, I think the natural hair look is actually really genuinely pretty and I love it. I just also like bleach.
Just the appearance of minimalism all over. And now I feel like we're finally rebelling against that with like bold colors, frills, froofs, bows, and the return of more things I loved about the movie. Visually, it was perfect. The set, chef's kiss. The hair, chef's kiss. And the casting, no notes.
I was so glad they included the pregnant Mitch because I had her and she was actually my favorite. She had this dope magnetic belly that like came off and the little baby would fit inside of there. You know I was delivering babies every day. Same dress and everything.
Barbie, and Weird Barbie were all perfectly cast, as was Ken, and Alan. America Ferrera and her daughter. Who is calling me? Oh.
Okay, I loved her character, but come on, naming her after Bratz doll, my 10-year-old self would have been ticked her than a I don't know. Yeah, I was very anti-Bratz at that age. No, I think they're cute though, so I disregard that critique.
Ruth Handler. I wish Garion was here to make the kiss sound. Garion? Will Ferrell's character didn't like really need to exist, but to be fair, neither do I.
But I think my favorite thing that the movie did is it made Barbie popular again. Like, not just amongst girls either. Made evident by these 2 teenage boys that I just caught in my driveway like an hour ago, taking pictures of each other in front of my Barbie car. It was fine. I made my presence known. Ended up giving them $25, but that's a long story. I wasn't mad, by the way.
Costumes. Nailed it. Knocked it out of the park. That was me kicking a home run. Obsessed. Will go down in history and be used as Halloween costumes for millennia to come. Jacqueline Duran created something legitimately iconic. And like, I know I was a little harsh on the last Jacqueline Duran Greta Gerwig collab, but this one more than makes up for it. Absolutely. I literally have chills. Guys, I'm getting goosebumps. They're just not visible or tangible, but they're internal. There's one. Now, if I had to give a costume critique, the only thing I think I'd address is the beachwear. Like, yes, this is cute, but it's literally just a reproduction of the 1970s pattern. It doesn't really have anything to do with Barbie.
And full disclosure, obviously, I really like that pattern because I've had it saved on Pinterest for like 8 years.
When Barbie's most famous looks ever are 2 swimsuits. The original March 9th, 1959 Chicago Toy Fair Barbie swimsuit and Malibu Barbie. So I was hoping something would be done with that. And to me, this just looked like a little bit too similar to the dress she wears in the opening, but it was cute. Cute enough for me to make, so disregard that whole critique. And then the other 2 outfits she wears to the beach are just very similar to each other. And I feel like there could have been a little more variety there. But I do have a fun little fan theory that like these looks might be a shout out from costumer Jacqueline Duran to fellow costumer Anne Roth, aka the woman that was sitting on the bench, and a movie she costumed way back in 1964 called What a Way to Go. Potentially one of the best costumed movies ever. Cause like, look at the detail, a little similar.
I don't know. I think we could have a little shouty outy. Love to see it. Between the costumes and the set, they made this utterly, completely immersive. Ooh, I got a lot of words going on up here today. I could play Scrabble with my mom tonight. I could clearly see the Barbie lore inspiration in every look, and as a Barbie geek, that pretty much made the movie for me. Like, it didn't really even have to do anything else to please me. It very well could have gone without any plot whatsoever, but it did have a plot, too, actually, and therein lies my critique. Hold on, are you getting stir crazy? Well, okay, so it seemed like there were sort of two plots put out as part of a script writing process. And then there were judges, but the judges were too indecisive. And so they were like,
let's actually make both movies compact into one and then watch it and edit one of the plots out.
But like they forgot to ever edit one of the plots out. Like you have two villains, rather two semi-villains, one of whom's arc was kind of a dead end, never really went anywhere. And the other one was like a little bit abused and mistreated and ended up acting out because of that. You have two sort of all-knowing fairy godmother type characters and two versions of the real human world. One of which is raw and serious and sentimental and like the real world. And the other one that is this highly characterized, sort of cartoonishly patriarchal, the star thing. Let's focus on the two major messages, the girl power theme and the even greater one in my opinion, which was the one about how life is flawed and that's what makes it beautiful, which gave us such great moments. When like Margot Robbie's character looks at Anne Roth and is like, you're beautiful. I felt that. Chills again. Listen, Greta Gerwig, she has a talent for bringing such palpable emotional depth to her audience. Some of the best moments in cinema. But they don't always coalesce into the same common greater theme. Oh my god, those are some intelligent sounding words. Save it for a Scrabble. I should have glasses on. No joke, I was just at a wedding yesterday. The dad was giving me a speech and he literally said the words,
guys don't make passes, ask girls with glasses.
Like out loud. Like, I know! Obviously though, that theory has been scientifically disproven by my cousin Shelby, who is the prettiest girl in the world and wears glasses. Okay, well we're already off topic. Quick note to everyone who wears glasses, you're beautiful with them. But take just one picture of yourself without them because someday you're gonna have a daughter and she's gonna want to enter a mommy-daughter lookalike contest where she has to submit a picture of herself at her age and a picture of you at her age. And she's not gonna win because she can't find the same type of 1970s glasses you were wearing in all your pictures. Thank you, teenage Melissa. In staying off topic, speaking of eyes, I
would like to go shopping
with today's sponsor, Thredup. Thredup is the internet's largest online consignment thrift store, but more importantly, it's where I get all of my clothes, and you can't spell I without I. Anyway, let's look at some Thredup outfits, like this one.
This Shein bodysuit was originally $32, but the Thredup price was just $13.99. And this Forever 21 skirt was originally estimated to be $21, but I paid just $9.99. Look at this butterfly top, quick, before it flies away. The original estimated retail price was $24, but the Thredup price was just $10.99. Isn't $10.99 like a tax form? Taxes aren't fun. But this yellow Zara shirt is originally $39, but I paid just $17.99. And this Zara skirt was originally $43, but I paid just $10.99 again. They're really trying to remind me to do taxes. For the low price of $22.99, I got these Charlotte Russe heels that make me feel like I belong on a 1940s calendar. This classic little t-shirt was originally $16, but I paid just $10.99 again. Okay, Lord, I'll call my accountant. This blue blush gingham skirt was originally $48, but I paid just $12.99. It makes me feel like a pinup girl pretending to be Dorothy. These Shein striped shorts paired with this Forever 21 white top make the perfect beach outfit. The top was originally $16, but I paid just $8.99. There's that darned pink Barbie skirt again, but what's this? A new top? Originally $16, but I paid just $10.99. And it's so cute with these Barbie Core Eco heels. Originally $48, but I paid just $21.99. 48? Isn't that the number of presidents we haven't had? Speaking of president, I call this outfit Barbie for President. It consists of a Forever 21 dress. Originally $21, but the Thredup price was just $9.99. And this Zara blazer was originally $95, but I paid just $24.99.
Oh, and I can't believe I'm telling you this, but Thredup has a new feature where you can make your favorites public, meaning you all can shop the things that I have favorited, because I guess I can't buy it all. So get to our Barbie Dream wardrobe. Follow the link in my description and use the code Micarah for 40% off your first purchase. Anyway, I think more screen time could have been allotted to the human protagonist. That mother-daughter duo, I wanted more information on that backstory. Because like Barbie dolls played such an integral role in so many women's childhoods. That's where we first started forming expectations of what we wanted and hoped for in our futures. I would have loved to see her own character's childhood and like, what did she expect? Did she want to be a mom with children that she's super close with? Did she want to be a businesswoman, the president? Where did it go wrong? Did she want to live in a dream house and drive a pink car? Super unrealistic, but some people want that. Some people. Or is she content with her life and her normalcy? I think that idea of our glowing childhood expectations of our own futures and how that's such a beautiful thing, but also something that sets us all up for disaster. It's really such a powerful concept. Reality slapping us in the face as we grow up is, on the one hand, what makes life miserable, and on the other hand, brings new depth to the joy we feel in the happy parts of life. I think the Barbie movie was attempting to show us that the dream perfect life is actually kind of shallow. As much as we may think we want it, in the end, maybe we actually wouldn't. Sure, that perfect plastic life or that childhood view on life is great when you've never experienced anything else. But once you've seen reality, once you've grown up, you can never see the
the world in that innocent, childlike way again. I think that was the true point of the movie, which is so deep and cool.
But I do kind of wonder why they didn't play with the concept of age more, because the concept of Barbie and the concept of aging are essentially inseparable. We play with Barbies when we're young, fantasizing about what it would be like to be an adult, and then when we're old, we do anything to go back to those days where we looked like Barbie, or if we never did, back to the days when we played Barbies and had that bright, shiny view of life. Okay, so just imagine with me for a second. Like, imagine the plot was like this. Barbie still discovers cellulite on her thigh, which is a sign of aging. She goes to see Weird Barbie, and Weird Barbie's like, the only way you can stop aging is by visiting the real world and experiencing the full spectrum of like what age is. And Barbie's like, yeah, I want to make it stop, so I'm gonna go there. And then she goes there and at first is horrified, but eventually sees the beauty and power in it. She sees the mother and daughter and the beauty of that relationship, which couldn't have come about without aging. She learns about Ruth Handler, who created something world famous, iconic, legendary at an age that is well past this. And so she ultimately decides she wants to be a human. She wants to experience the full spectrum of life, even with the age and hardships that come with it. Because isn't that the big thing that separates us from the Kens and Barbies in Barbie Land? The fact that we age and they don't. Oh wait, no. Apparently the really important thing that separates us from them is genitalia? If the age thing had been emphasized more, it would have been a plot with power that transcends age and gender. And maybe eventually make us leave the theater feeling more grateful that we are constantly aging and growing in this. I'm sorry, can you stop that? It's really gross. It's kind of distracting. And it would have given great context for this lovely scene of Barbie and the lady on the bench.
If that point had been consistently emphasized more, it would have made Barbie's ultimate decision to join the real world so much more powerful. But instead, the true point kept getting lost. And to me, the ending kind of felt like a rushed through afterthought. Also, because they went so hard at portraying the world as this cartoonishly, extremely patriarchal place, Barbie's decision to join it makes just a little less sense. The human world was just not very well defined. They couldn't decide what they wanted it to be like. Was it the real world, or was it just another campy, goofy place? Like, Will Ferrell's character existing in the same dimension as the doctor who Ken meets, who acts like really realistically and normal. It just doesn't, I don't see them both existing in that reality. Like, you have this world where every 3 seconds a guy is yelling something crass or touching Barbie's butt, and then she gets arrested for defending herself, which is a comical exaggeration of what it feels like to be a woman sometimes. But like, the humorous exaggeration of it took away from what should have been the realistic feel of real life. The real life that Barbie ends up deciding she wants to live in. I just think they could have cut out the whole Mattel man squad and like every single man in the real world is extremely successful and respectful of other men thing, and maybe just have Ken run into like a group of incels or frat boys or some people that like view the world like that and want it to stay like that. Maybe he could discover Reddit. Then he could have still kept the patriarchy subplot, but made the real world feel real. They just should have picked a lane. Either have the real world run by goofy men, and in the end have her want to go there just to like, I don't know, bring real change to it, or have the real world be complex and authentic and have her want to go there to have an authentic human experience, since she can never again fit into that plastic, frivolous, silly world. Yeah, like I said, I just feel like that whole line of thought could have been extremely impactful if explored more. But what it seemed like is it seemed like they took what should have been the subplot, the patriarchy versus matriarchy thing, and they spent 90% of the movie on the subplot, and only 10% of screen time was budgeted for the actual point. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against girl power. I mean, I love... And I'm not into misogyny. In fact, I purposefully go out of my way not to get my knees massaged, because misogyny sounds so much like misogyny. And I don't get massages, period, because I got a massage once and the chick ended up using so much oil that I felt oily for days, which a shower probably could have helped. I mean, the misogynist, stayed too close for comfort. Now let's talk about the relationship between Barbie and Ken. We start by saying that Ken and Barbie are a boyfriend and girlfriend stuck in what seems to be an anxious and avoidant attachment style loop. He feels he only exists when she looks at him, and she gives everyone in her life an equal amount of attention and sometimes more than she gives to Ken. And she clearly is someone who should not be in a romantic relationship at all. She consistently and ruthlessly informs him that she doesn't want him around, but yet she doesn't break up with him. I mean, not until the end. Even so, I guess she never explicitly, it's kind of just like, she makes him assume. I felt so bad for Ken. I felt bad for all of the Kens in the beginning. Like, they're homeless, jobless, and they have no governmental representation. They're literally systemically abused by the Barbie Land system. Then, when Ken gets a taste of the real world, this sort of exaggerated and characterized patriarchy proves to be too tempting for him. So he brings it back to Barbie Land, and the Kens take over all of the Barbies' homes and their government and so on. Which, it was a pretty dang funny side plot. I engaged in laughs so plenty. Bye. Another thing I did not love is when the Barbies were trying to take back what was theirs and reestablish their unjust system of matriarchy. They do so by playing on the Ken's insecurities, their Ken securities, if you will. And someone who reads too deep into things might say tapping into their previous traumas, and pretending to love the Kens and then trying to make them wildly jealous of each other. And like, I can't help but wonder what kind of message that could send to kids, which...
I know, it's not made for kids.
But like, come on, it's called Barbie. Kids are gonna come. And I know a lot of kids who did go. And look, I know not every movie has to send a message. Some movies are just pure entertainment, but this movie really kind of made it feel like it was trying to send us a message. So I'm probably reading way too deep in everything. It just was uncomfy for me. It was uncomfy for me. I actually think it's like not cute to emotionally mistreat someone regardless of their gender. I should also throw out a disclaimer that like I may have been projecting onto the Kens like a little bit based on like some things I've gone through, so maybe I'm just looking at it through that lens. Either way, I mean, no likey. When I saw the promo posters, I got really excited because last time we saw Ken and Barbie on the big screen, Ken turned into a bad guy, and I thought surely they won't do that again. Because in the promos for this, it kind of looked like Barbie is a girl on her own mission with her own story arc, but Ken is there supporting her, which I'm sorry, but I feel like we never see.
Rant mode activated.
Finish that later. In women-led movies, there seem to be only two possible courses a woman's life can take. Either she has a man in her life and he is the story arc, he is the center of her world, or she's completely strong and independent and doesn't need no man, and every man in her world is bad. What I want to see is
So bad.
and I want children to see. It's just a really healthy relationship where the love interest is not the main point to our Shiro's life. She has her own plot and goals, but like she also has a male partner by her side, supporting her without feeling threatened by her success. Like, we have not seen that since Ron Stoppable. Oh my gosh, I love Ron Stoppable. That's the dynamic I was hoping for.
Oh, I will say I think Anna and Kristoff are a good example of this also.
Like, is it so gosh dang much to ask that we give little boys, I don't know,
A role model?
and that we show kids a guy can be part of a girl's life without being the center of it? Men get to see that in their own movies all the time. Like, he has his own goals and adventures, and he also has this super cool woman by the side supporting him. But with movies about women, it's always all or nothing. Either the man is her reason for existing, or he's bad and she ultimately has to end up by herself. Okay, now I've already probably taken a little bit too far in my review of this movie, so let's take it a little farther. Imagine you're Ruth Handler, poured yourself in creating this legacy, this narrative, world famous, multi-generational, and what am I saying? And you've got salt and pepper, peanut butter and jelly, chocolate mustard, Romeo and Juliet,
Barbie and Ken.
it's very near and dear to your heart. It's very near and dear to the hearts of little girls like me. And then the media just can't stop butchering it. They don't want it to happen.
This is very personal.
This is just, I've always been obsessed with Barbie. Her whole story has always been very important. And imagine something you're obsessed with. What are you obsessed? You obsessed with Spider-Man? In every on-screen adaptation of Spider-Man, Mary Jane stabs Peter Parker in the back. She always turns evil. He never gets his boo thing. But that's unrealistic because they wouldn't do that to Spider-Man. The man always gets his love. Even if she like dies tragically, the love is still there. Conquers all. Again, most of my critiques on this movie are just very personal letdown. The things I was excited for about the movie are this message that like you can express your femininity with reckless abandon and still be taken seriously. And finally getting a male in a supportive role to a woman. And then actually, if you want to be like a real person, you gotta dress boring and somewhat masculine. And no boy, she can't be a real serious woman until she drops the man and wears the tan.
Wait, bad.
And sometimes they are, but not Ken. I know Ken. I know him. I played him. Every time I would play Barbies growing up, I was always the Kens because I had the best
Boy voice.
and he was a really good guy. At the risk of sounding like the girly equivalent to like a 30-year-old Marvel buff,
You don't mess with canon.
it is canon for Barbie and Ken to end up together. Like, yes, they did break up once in 2004, I think, and she got with this guy named Blaine, and I was so mad at the time. But within a few years, eventually, she and Ken were back together, and my world was bliss ever since. Until now. And like, I get it. The perfect Ken character is unrealistic. But sometimes it's good to create an overly virtuous character to look up to. I know he's unrealistic, but like, if I can't have my real perfect Ken in real life, I dang well at least better get him in a movie. Why are you doing this to him? Why are you doing this to her? Don't make her an emotionally mistreating brat. She's not a brat. She's Barbie. Right? Barbie's nice. Ken is good. Guys! So like, it's personal letdowns. In the end, Barbie does eventually apologize for taking Ken for granted, which is great. But like, the Kens are still homeless and they don't even get one seat on the Supreme Court. Another really extremely mild critique I have is that you cast Margot Robbie as stereotypical Barbie, aka this woman that's known for having like a bazillion other celebrity actresses that look just like her. You even go so far as casting one of them. Then you make that one brunette, and I guess cut the only joke that referenced the resemblance. So like, that just feels like a little grave missed opportunity. There are already talks of sequels, so I would like to throw my humble requests out into the abyss. Give us a Malibu Barbie look. Play with the whole Margot Robbie stereotypical Barbies looking like each other thing. Maybe have a Christmas party in Barbie Land and have everybody show up wearing different holiday Barbie dresses. I'd be happy to donate a few to the cause. Either make Will Ferrell go somewhere or cut him. Or literally just like make him be Elf in the second movie. That could be fun. Maybe make Weird Barbie headless. I think that could be cool. And just on a really personal note, can Barbie still wear fun girly things in the real world still? Maybe just a couple? Just please let Barbie end up with Ken. It doesn't have to be that Ken. It can be any Ken. I like a really nice, secure, supportive Ken.
And if not her, at least one of her lookalike actresses. Why not? Why not?
It's canon, if you will. In conclusion, if I had to put it in the category of I enjoyed watching it or I didn't enjoy watching it, I would say I enjoyed watching it. I did. Great visuals. Greta Gerwig is intelligent, she's sharp, funny, and she's genius. I just don't think the execution of the plot fully came together. Now, I hope you don't feel preached at in any way, because at the end of the day, my opinion is no more valid than any of yours. It's not that the Barbie movie wasn't good enough, it just didn't live up to my personal tastes and expectations. But if you absolutely love it and it's your favorite movie ever, good! I'm glad. I literally love when people love things, so don't let me make you love it any less. I don't know why I made this video.
That was a lot of talking. Now let's go shopping. Remember to follow the link in my description, check out Thredup, and use the code Micarah for 40% off your first purchase. And remember, you can shop all of my favorites. By the way, if you're wondering where I am right
It's a
now,
whole thing. It's a whole... Next time. We'll talk about it.